The Maitlands have shared many meals in their 150 years on this farm near Clare, north of Adelaide.
Okay.
But these days they have a whole new appreciation for what's on the plate, because the main ingredients in this dish are homegrown.
A bit of fettuccine and some pesto, chickpeas.
It's the result of a value-adding business the youngest generation started 6 years ago.
Would you like some more, Dave?
Crops have helped sustain this family since settling here in 1866. After more than a century of mixed farming, the Maitlands moved away from livestock and focused entirely on growing grains and legumes. It's good country and they've been successful, but they say now is the time to take it to the next level. Enter David and Margot's son, Jim. Inspired by some of the value-adding he'd studied at agricultural college, he came up with the idea to use some of the farm's durum wheat to make the family's own brand of pasta. His parents were initially sceptical.
When he said, look, I think we should value add and make pasta, we did actually look at each other and do a little bit of eye-rolling, thinking, oh yeah, find a category that hasn't got, heaps of competition.
To stand out in that crowded marketplace, Jim and his wife Catherine went looking for a point of difference. They turned to something old to create something new, recruiting a traditional stone miller to grind their grain into flour. A technique they say retains the structure and much of the goodness of the grain.
We saw an opportunity for whole grain pasta because our product is 100% whole grain, so it's a little bit different. It's essentially a brown pasta, so we have brown breads and brown rice, but we don't have a lot of brown pasta.
The family decided to build on its slow-growing but loyal customer base by expanding into other products.
As the years have rolled along and we've produced or developed other products, we've probably learnt the importance of starting at the consumer end.
Despite the truckloads of faba beans, broad beans and chickpeas coming off his and other farms, hardly any wind up as savoury snacks in Australian shops.
It was a pretty clever idea.
Yeah.
Here's something just begging for an Australian, a South Australian, a Clare Valley regional sort of story and provenance.
Here we go, sweetheart. These are lemon and thyme and they're beans.
In the last year, the Maitlands have released 3 types of roasted pulse snacks, with the main ingredients coming from their farm and other properties in the region.
So these are rosemary and sea salt, and they're whole faba beans and chickpeas as well. So the faba bean is the brown one, so they look a bit different, but that's how they come off the paddock. So
these types of snacks are already quite popular in parts of Asia, but there are only a few players in Australia. And getting in nice and early is paying off for the Maitlands, with the pulses already making up more than 40% of their sales.
With the snack products, it's literally they say yes before you even start giving a spiel.
While the sales pitch takes less effort than with whole grain pasta, getting the legumes to that point requires a lot of attention to detail. Cleaning is a crucial part of the process. Indeed, investing in their crops beyond the farm gate has come with an eye-opening crash course in food safety.
We're not just growing grain, we're actually food producers, and we've learnt about insects and weevils and all sorts of things that can contaminate food, rocks in chickpeas, all these things that we have to tick every single box before it ends up on the shelf.
This focus on consumers may be a world away from the path previous generations trod, but it's a comfortable fit for the latest managers of this property, with Catherine Maitland coming from a background in marketing. And she and her husband see plenty of potential for pulses beyond the snack packs.
While chickpeas, for instance, are a raw commodity that the subcontinent have been eating for 8,000 years, you can do some amazing things with these pulse crops, whether it's making tofu or ice cream.
That potential in the kitchen prompted another pulse product, retorted chickpeas. That's when a raw product is heated in cans or pouches in a pressure cooker to make it sterile and extend the shelf life. In Australia, the majority of retorted chickpeas come in cans and many are imported. The Maitlands decided to develop a locally grown option with the help of this Melbourne food processor. It's a partnership that has opened up new opportunities for both businesses, with Pankara's pouches coming to the attention of one of the processor's food service customers.
The biggest thing for food service was Australian grown. Most of the chickpeas what they get from the Middle East, from overseas, so to have the product, they're producing Australian-made products, so they want Australian ingredients, and that was a real selling point.
A gold medal or two doesn't hurt sales either.
Value adding is sometimes adding cost. I would say that the first couple of years, we weren't breaking even. Now we're starting to break even and make a small profit.
So is this kind of based on a Jamie Oliver recipe? Or
This is sort of a Catherine Maitland recipe, I suppose.
It's the best.
Bit of everything.
And with the profit margins starting to look a little healthier, they're hopeful this food journey they've embarked on will help sustain this farm and family for many generations to come.
We've certainly had ups and downs and challenges and sweat and tears and all the rest of it, but I feel that the bigger picture and what we're growing and working towards is certainly all worth it.
Cheers, Jim. Well done, Catherine. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.